Hi there, this is Coach Charlene, and as we end Women's History Month, I'd like to share a quote with you. A woman in harmony with her spirit is like a river flowing. She goes where she will without pretense and arrives at her destination prepared to be herself and only herself by the great Maya Angelou. I am excited to bring you today Candace Pirtle-Smalls, and she will be unpacking her story with us today. So please enjoy the episode. Greetings, and welcome to When the Moment Chooses You. I am your host, Coach Charlene, and I am extremely excited today to have somebody literally I just met, but it was such a connection that I'm so excited to have you here, Candace. Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, Charlene. Thank you.
Yeah, so when I started this podcast, I actually started it. My birthday will be July, actually 5th when I started it 2 years ago, but the dream actually kind of spun out of the whole 2020 double pandemic, systemic racism, the murder of George Floyd. I absolutely found my voice after many, many years of being silent and not saying anything about the injustice that I was seeing. And so that moment called me to really begin to speak up and to speak out. And so I found my voice and I've been releasing my voice ever since. And it's been absolutely amazing journey because now I love to have these conversations that are not necessarily the most comfortable, but there's so much value in them. So that's kind of why I started the podcast. See, I think that there's moments that call us into them to disrupt something, to transform ourselves, to transform the systems that we work for or the people that we're around. And so I believe that we all have moments. And so that's really the theme of the show, Candace. So I would love, I mean, I just heard you talk just for a little while. And I was like, okay, she's loaded. She is loaded. And then I start going and I looked on LinkedIn and just kind of was checking your profile out. I was like, oh my God, you're amazing. So that's why I want to unpack some moments. So before we unpack your moments, I would love for you to tell the listening audience who you are.
Thank you so much. Number one, I am a child of God. I am a child of God. I am a nurse educator. I am a mother. I am a leader and educator. And I just have a passion for just paving the way and just making a difference in our communities and our healthcare providers and our aspiring nurses.
Oh, that's amazing. So tell me, Candace, what have you had any moments that you would love to share with us? I mean, they can be any type of moment that really like called you into
Absolutely.
it, you know.
Yes.
So let me hear from you.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the moments that I would just love to just kind of talk about is what really kind of shifted for me. And as being an educator, prior to being an educator, I was a nurse. I've been a nurse for over 15 years, believe it or not, in the healthcare field for about 17 years. And one of the moments was my first day of clinical. I was doing a clinical rotation at the Contra Costa Regional Medical Center Hospital, and I happened to work there as a nursing assistant. And I put my scrubs on, I put my stethoscope around my neck, and we were on the fifth floor, mom and babies unit. And my instructor gave everyone their assignments, and I was the last person to get an assignment. So my heart was beating really, really fast, and I was waiting, like, what's the hold up? And I saw my instructor leaned over speaking with one of the nurses. And my instructor came over to me and she looked at me and she said, Candace, the nurse doesn't want to have a student today. And it crushed me.
Hmm.
I had a moment of, I felt rejected. I felt not seen. A lot of different internal things that were happening to me at the time. And I had a decision, either not come back to clinical tomorrow
Yeah.
or not be that nurse. And I made a decision not to be that nurse, not to be a gatekeeper, and I had to
Hmm.
look deeper into that and know that it was not about me. A hard principle life lesson I had to learn. It wasn't about me. Who knows how her day was, but I knew that I did not want to withhold knowledge and education from someone who wanted to learn and wanted to just be just like them, right? So that was
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, that's
shifting.
like Yeah, that's so heart-wrenching, honestly, because I mean, I've been in the profession too for quite some time, over 35 years now, but the thought of a nurse saying that I don't want to have a student today, it just like really bothers me
Yes.
to even hear that. I have seen it happen, and that's where we forget the very reason of why we went into the profession. So that particular moment caused you to do what? What was in your heart after that to
What was
do?
in my heart was to pave the way. When we are in positions to become leaders and we are wearing that hat, it's not about us anymore. We have a service, we have a due diligence, we're under oath, to be able to serve and to be able to kind of pass that baton on. And that nurse failed the assignment. So what I did was I
Yes.
decided to pick up the assignment and eventually end up going into education. Got me with nursing and education and became a certified educator.
That is super amazing. So it's really interesting because you said you were a nursing assistant
Yeah,
first.
it was a CNA
Oh,
for 6 years.
ah, me too. Yes, I was, and then I got my OVN,
Yes,
and then I, just kept going up the track like that. So that's super powerful. So you knew, Candace, that you had leadership inside of you already.
yes.
Did you know that already?
I knew that I was different. I always
Okay.
felt different. Like I always felt like I was very different. And I didn't know what it was. It took some self discovery and reflection and all those
Yeah.
different things. But I knew that I had something special within me. I just had to tap into it. And I wasn't, Shirley, I wasn't the smartest in my class. I did not have the highest GPA. So I did not know I was going to be a professor. I did not know that. But I
Amazing.
didn't know that, but I knew that I wanted to make a difference.
Yeah, that's
As
awesome.
an empath, I knew I felt like I have to do something that's gonna make a change and that was gonna shift something, whatever that thing was. Right, that takes time to
Yes. Yeah.
unravel.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm wondering, so after that first day happened there, so the next day
Mhm.
you were able to come back?
Absolutely. So what ended up happening is my instructor, she just took me with her, and I was able to to float, around. So it worked out, but it was just one of those things to where I had to overcome, because a lot of
Yeah.
times when things are happening to us, and like I said, it's not about us. We just have to think more into it, right, and get over ourselves a lot of
Yes.
the time. So I got over my emotions and myself, and it was a wonderful day. But it was an experience that I share with everyone because it was that first pivotal moment to where it's like I could have took that information, as a lot of people do in life, and say, you know what, how many times have we had a teacher or a professor or a manager or supervisor that misled us or mishandled us, and we decided to harm ourselves, sabotage something,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I can't be
Okay.
the only one, right? So to
Mm-mm.
start that self sabotage, so I had to take that hard knock lesson and make it into a teachable moment, and share that, right?
Well, that's so powerful because, like, literally, Candace, I still know some people that had an incident like
Mhm.
that happen, but they embraced it
Yes.
as their truth. See, they didn't go on that other part where you was like, no, this is not going to define me. I'm going to make a difference out of this very, very challenging situation. So, if there's any nurses out there now or healthcare workers or support staff that are feeling like they have not been heard, they have not been seen, what would you say to them right now?
I will let them know that don't suffer with imposter syndrome. If you made it that far, you deserve a space. You deserve a seat at that table, right? So you're there because you belong, and you are valued, and you are qualified to be in that room. So if one person is not going to help you, or they don't want to share information with, guess what? There's another nurse. that will take you underneath their wing. And there are great nurses out there that will mentor you and will show you the way and show you the ropes. So don't just give up at one nurse or one incident or one issue, right? Move on
Yeah.
to someone else.
Yeah, you know what also I see in this, Candace? So you had to have you must have been working on yourself to some degree.
Yes.
I mean, for you to be able to like navigate through that without it necessarily affecting you. So, what other things were you doing at the time that helped you to be able to just navigate that? Because that's pretty challenging.
Absolutely. So I am mixed combination of street smarts and and book together. Transparency moment, you know. So you have to learn how to navigate outside of the healthcare profession. And being a teen mom, having my son at 16 years old, I had to overcome so many challenges within myself, deeply rooted to overcome, right? And not to allow one thing to determine and to position me of who I was, because my fight and my drive was different. I wanted to succeed. I had, like I said, I was not the smartest in the class, but my instructor said I always had heart, the most hunger,
Yes.
right? And you have to
Yes.
have that hunger and that drive and that purpose to be able to succeed. Otherwise, you're going to get eaten alive. It's not for the
Yes. It's so true. So no, thank you for pointing that out because that's like a big area for me because I've met so many people that they're the clinical experts. They know what they're doing, all of the nurses and doctors and things like that. But then there's this other side that um, is not as strong, is not as confident, is not as grounded, is not as resilient as they would like to be. So it causes them to be a different person instead of being their full authentic self. So that's really powerful. So thank you for sharing that with us. So tell us a little bit more about, I want to know because I'm always interested. So you did nursing for how many years?
So I was a nurse and still am for 16, let me see, about 16 years. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you did that for about 16 years, still doing it.
Mhm.
Then what was it that made you shift? I heard the moment that was like, okay, I'm going to do something about this. But when did you kind of get that whisper in your heart to say, you know what, I feel like I need to be doing something else?
Well, the first whisper was when I went through a self discovery within myself, and I had lost a lot of weight. I lost about 50 pounds, and I kept the weight off. And this is what started my entrepreneurial spirit. It's always been embedded in me, but I was like, okay, I've lost all this weight. I've gained all these tips and these tools. People wanted me to show them how to do it. How do you do it? So I said, okay, instead of answering, responding to all these different people, let me just start a business. And I started Mindful Meal Prep, Fit in Your Kitchen, this business and meal prepping and all these different things, helping all these women around the community, and wrote a book about it. And I started typing in, how to help people become their best self. What does that look
Mm.
like? I started putting through Google and came to find out I saw a title. It said health coach. I was like, what is this? Was mind you, this was 6 years ago. There was like health coach was like you never heard of it. I was like, what is a health coach? Like, what is a coach? Before coaches was
Right.
all discovered, right? And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
helping someone become their best self, discovering who they were. So I was like, I'm interested in this. So I ended up taking a
Yes.
program, got certified as a health coach and a life coach, and started my business with helping women, self-discover who they were. So that was the first pivotal point of becoming an entrepreneur. So then pandemic hit, life hit, everything changed, everything shifted, and then life hit. And so at this time I said, okay, we're right during the beginning stages of the pandemic. I was like, I'm going to take a shift. I just wanted to have a position, and I just want to put my head down and go to work and take care of people and do what I do. And so I end up start working at a residential facility in Walnut Creek, mental health. And I end up getting promoted not by chance. I didn't want to be promoted. I just wanted to do my job. It sounds like, really? No, I didn't. I just wanted to just do my job. I got promoted from lead nurse, promoted again to program manager, promoted again to program director. All of this through pain. My life internally, when the home was shattering, was going through a divorce, um, balancing challenges with my son. So your success doesn't determine who you are. So I'm excelling at all these things in life, but inside everything is a disarray. I don't know how that happens. We really
Yeah.
see, but behind the closed doors, we're like everything is a mess. I don't know. I don't know how that happens, but I end up um getting called into the office one morning into the HR. And this is after, the divorce. I lost my father. 5 months later, I lost my sister. Everything was crumbling down. I lost myself. I couldn't even get out of bed. I don't even know how, um, I got out of bed, but God broke me
Mhm.
down to my knees and humbled me and helped me get resilient and reset me. And at that time, I got laid off. In the HR, they didn't even there was no reason. I'm the director, I'm the boss. I had 20 employees, therapists underneath me, mental health workers, nurses, and they just gave me my papers and they said, we had a few facilities shut down. We have to make some layoffs, and you're one. You have any questions? Do
Wow.
you have any questions? And this is after 3 years of dedicating on call, all these different things and all this stuff and staffing and all these things. And I looked at them and I said, no, not at this time. I said, thank you. But what that was, it was releasing me because God had a
Mm.
bigger and a better plan for me.
Come
And
on.
once I discovered, I took a moment of rest and I just rested. And I just asked God, what do you want me to do? What is it that I need to do in this moment? And it always goes back to service. It's to helping the people, helping his people. In this time, and I said, the world, because everyone's reaching out to me because I've wrote all these books and everyone knows me, I have all these students and all these, clients, everyone, and they're like, we need you. And I'm like, I'm not together. My cup was so empty. And Charlene, when you have an empty cup and you're so used to pouring into others, it was so difficult. I couldn't even make a post on social media. I couldn't even
Yeah.
prepare a meal. So I went to therapy, intensive therapy once a week, got me a good therapist. And I took care of my mental health. And I took care of my mental, my physical, my spiritual health. And I said, the world better get ready because what's going to happen, I'm coming back bigger and better than what I was. And I couldn't even
Yes.
imagine it because I was already on Good Day Sacramento and all these different things and LA and all this different stuff that didn't even matter to me anymore. It didn't even matter to me at that point anymore. I just needed to find who I was and discover who I was in that moment.
So, wow, that was a lot of power that you just expressed right there. But I think what's so powerful about this is how you were like literally on top of the world, just slaying it,
Yes.
and your mental health was declining. And so I love how you said that I had to take care of me
Yeah.
for once and for all, because a lot of us, and I hit that spot myself, and I'm giving. I like to describe it as, I have this loaf of bread right here, and I just was giving it out, sis. I was just giving out every piece of the loaf, and then when I got to me really going through a crisis,
Mm-hmm.
I had nothing left. And so I had no choice but to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I had no choice but to say, okay, Lord, I hit a brick wall. I need your help now. I need you to get me out of this. So that is so powerful. And I think so many people, Candace, are there, like right there. But because they feel like, well, I got to make sure I do this for this person, that person, this person, that person. And you're trying to pour from this empty cup. And you are not your best self at that point. You even said that you couldn't even get out of bed.
I couldn't
So how?
even get out of bed. I got out, but
Wow.
I had to imagine myself as taking care of the little girl, the
Yes.
baby version of Candy. I had to shower her, I had to bathe her, I had to brush her teeth, I had to do all the basic essential needs for her to eat. I would cook all these delicious, clean eating meals. I couldn't even prepare a meal. So something was happening. Everything
Yeah.
was just breaking down, and I had to really, and it was hard because of being a I used to be a people pleaser, used to
Yeah.
please others, but now I look at it as boundaries. I had to learn how to have healthy boundaries, and now it's more of a service. And if whatever doesn't fit or sit, I'm able to speak up and speak out for myself, and really prioritize my mental health, and prioritizing um, others too, because a lot of people are walking around unhealed. It's a lot of hurt people, really, right? And
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so okay, let's, in case there's somebody listening that they're there in that spot, Candace, where you were, what would you say to them right now?
yeah, I would say don't give up on yourself, because you never know who you are becoming. You never know
Mm,
who is going to need you. You never know, your story can change somebody's life. They may be at their breaking point and see no light at the end of the tunnel, but because they heard your story and they
yes.
knew that they were not alone, and that they also too can be validated or seen or heard. So don't give up. Don't ever give up on yourself. You keep going.
Yeah, that's so powerful. Yeah, very powerful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that story. That's a powerful story. And I know it was a painful one, but
Mhm.
so much purpose and so much power came out of you sharing that with us today. And I know that it's going to touch other people's hearts. So now I want to talk about, like, what are you doing right now? Let's talk about Candace today.
Oh, exciting things. Charlene, so many doors have opened. 2023, in July, once I hit that moment of really had to hit that reset button and see what is it. We were able to launch the Empower Health Academy. And Empower Health Academy, it empowers the healthcare professionals. So all the staff at organizations and facilities, as well as aspiring future nurses. So we come into the buildings, we looking to see how we can empower the staff to enable them to be able to give that quality care. So we help boost the morale in the nurses in the healthcare field. They can give that quality care and also touch on to the future nurses, and help them with those roadblocks to overcome before they get into nursing school, because they come to find out
Yes.
that a lot of nurses are becoming burnt out faster, and it's not being
Yes.
taught in nursing school. We're taught go, 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 theory, clinical modules, all these different things, and we're running on fumes, and no one is checking on our mental health. And then we have to do better as healthcare professionals, because our future nurses are taking care of our parents, our loved ones,
Yes.
our neighbors, our children. They're not just patients. These are our family members. These are our loved ones. And if our nurses are pouring from empty cups, what is that going to say about our future? So it's our mission to empower the healthcare professionals, and especially our aspiring nurses. So within that, we just launched a new ebook
Yay.
yes, it's just listening, unveiling, aspiring the nurses, and it's the ultimate tools of the beginning process of going into nursing school. Not even, you haven't even made it to nursing school yet, but you're in that first phase of the admission, the entrance exam, all of that
Hmm.
great stuff. So it's really, really exciting.
Well, I think that is absolutely amazing. As I've journeyed through my career, one thing that I noticed, especially post the double pandemic, really triple pandemic, because all of us had our own personal pandemic, um, One of the things that we do lack in organizations is caring for the caregiver. The quadruple
Mhm.
aim is what it's called. And so I really love that you're focusing in on our nurses and nurses even before they become nurses, because, there are a lot of times you're at that discovery moment when you're getting ready to enter into nursing. Go, do I really want to do this?
Yes,
All of these questions arise. So I see that being so valuable
absolutely.
for a student being able to say, okay, let me see what am I getting ready to get myself into, and to equip them to be ready before they get there. Because if we can prepare for it before it happens, we'll be much better and much, I mean, less burnout and things like that. So that's amazing.
Yes, that's that preventative care model.
Yes.
So if we can prevent before we have to treat, and we can just one person, one student, one learner, one educator at a time, we can continue to pass that torch over. And together we can all make a difference and be united and continue to pass that torch down.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now I like to do your top three.
Ooh. So my top three, one of them is of wisdom is to, like I said before, don't give up. So many different things that come into our life. These are challenges, these are obstacles, these are the enemy tries to attack us. And if it's something that's on the other side, that's a burning desire, that is your success. So number one, don't give up. Keep going. The next one I like to the wisdom that I like to shine light on is do as you know, not as you see.
Mm,
Do as you know, not as you see. Meaning in the healthcare realm, you're going to see a lot of different things, a lot of different behaviors from nurses, doctors, healthcare providers. That's not going to look, doesn't necessarily make it wrong or unethical. It could just necessarily just be tacky and unprofessional. So never forget that bedside manner. Always continue to knock at the door, always continue to introduce yourself, and just the basic essentials, right? So you can do as you know, not as you see. And the last one is one of my favorite quotes from wisdom from Maya Angelou, the greatest. And she says, people won't remember your name, but they will remember how you made them feel, right? And you give people an experience when they're with you. Never
that's
go into a
beautiful.
room and no one ever feels your presence. You don't have to be the loudest, but your glow will shine. Don't dim that glow. Don't dim that light, because that's God's light in you. And people will stray from it because it may be too bright. But again, those are their things and not yours. You shine bright and you light up that. So those will be my top three. And I have more. We can keep going. Wrote a whole book on it.
Okay, so speaking of books, tell us
Yes,
about them.
absolutely. So, the first book is Mindful Meal Prep, and it's clean, delicious recipes for weight loss. It's available on Amazon, and it's a 3-in-1. It's a self help. It helps you discover who you are, how to grocery shop on a budget. Because a lot of times we think, oh, eating healthy is very expensive, and it is, but there are ways to where you can grocery shop on a budget. And then also, to it's over 50 recipes to be able to still eat clean and still have your tacos, still have your Taco Tuesday night, and still have your jambalaya if you choose. There's ways. So there, all the recipes are in the book. And the second book is called Becoming Visible. And Becoming Visible is part of my nonprofit organization called Fit Butterfly. So it's all women trauma to transformation. So we don't look like where we come from. We show our
Awesome.
wounds so others can heal. And we wrote during the pandemic because we did not know what the tomorrow was going to bring. So we just wrote and we told our legacy and we shared the most vulnerable moments in our life. And it has touched so many people. I will share by the time this podcast is aired, we have been selected. You guys are hearing it first here on the podcast, to be a part of the Los Angeles Times Book Festival. Yes, so the book was
Wow.
chosen and selected along with other celebrities and authors all around the world, to be able to present our book with all the authors. So really, really excited about that one. And the last one is Women of the World's international bestseller in 13 countries, anthology with several other businesswomen from the women of the world. And my story is about uncovering the challenges as an African American woman in breaking that bondage, and sharing the light on health and wellness and our traditions. So it's really really exciting.
Wow, you are an amazing queen.
Thank you.
So, anything else about your business, or how can people get in touch with you?
Absolutely, absolutely. So our website is www.empoweredhealthacademy.us, and we are also on Instagram at empowered ha, and we're also on LinkedIn under Empowered Health Academy as well. So any of those links, you can find us, and we're just really excited. If you're a future nursing student and you're just looking into tutoring, whether you should go to nursing school or if you should become a nursing assistant, and what are some tips, we offer free consultation, to kind of help guide and navigate you through that process and kind of help you along that way. We also have tutoring, a great specialist tutoring company that we're affiliated, from New York, and they're all amazing registered nurses in first year of grad school and medical school that we have partnered with to help you overcome those challenges of tutoring, from your TEAS exam to your core nursing prerequisites, as well as helping you with your NCLEX. So we help you from A to Z in the healthcare realm for nursing school.
Wow, you're doing amazing work. I'm so excited to have met you, and I cannot wait to us to get together to do some stuff.
No, it's so exciting. It's so many doors opening and so many different projects and different things happening behind the scenes, and I cannot wait to further collaborate with you.
Yes. Well, thank you all for listening today. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
I want to thank you for tuning in to another inspiring episode of When the Moment Chooses You. I'm your host, Coach Charlene, and it's been an absolute pleasure. Each journey we've shared today is a reminder that when the moment chooses you, the possibilities are endless.